Your doctor never warned you about this, but your diabetes medication could be working against impossible odds if your body is dangerously depleted of 4 essential minerals right now. Every single day, millions of people with diabetes swallow pills faithfully, morning, afternoon, night. They check their blood sugar and nothing changes, or worse, it keeps creeping higher. What they don't realize is this: their cells aren't broken. They're starving for minerals so critical that without them, insulin simply cannot do its job. Clinical research shows that correcting just a few key mineral deficiencies can lower HbA1c by more than 1 full point in a matter of weeks. Fasting glucose can drop 30 points or more without changing medications. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The pharmaceutical system earns billions keeping you dependent on prescriptions, while saying almost nothing about these dirt-cheap minerals that directly control insulin production, insulin sensitivity, and glucose metabolism. Your pancreas has a secret. It physically cannot manufacture or release insulin properly without specific minerals acting as cofactors. And statistics show that most diabetics are deficient in at least 2 of them right now. Those blood sugar spikes after meals, the bone-deep fatigue that never lifts, the burning, tingling sensations in your feet, these are not just diabetes. They are warning signals, your body begging for nutrients it no longer has. Thousands of diabetics have already reduced medications, stabilized glucose, and in some cases eliminated drugs entirely simply by restoring these 4 minerals. The science is there, the data is overwhelming, yet these solutions are rarely discussed, and what you're about to learn could completely change how you manage diabetes for the rest of your life. Let's begin with number 1. Number 1, magnesium glycinate. Magnesium glycinate may be the most powerful mineral weapon against diabetes that your doctor never mentioned. This form combines magnesium with glycine, an amino acid that escorts it safely through your digestive system and straight into your cells. Unlike cheap magnesium forms that pass right through you, glycinate actually gets absorbed. Here's what most people don't know. Magnesium controls over 300 enzymatic reactions in the human body, and nearly half of adults are deficient. Diabetes makes this far worse. High blood sugar forces your kidneys to dump magnesium into your urine, sometimes 80 milligrams per day or more. The more uncontrolled your glucose becomes, the faster magnesium disappears, and the less magnesium you have, the worse insulin resistance gets. A vicious cycle, quiet, destructive, and rarely diagnosed. The symptoms creep in slowly, so people blame diabetes itself instead of the real cause. Painful nighttime leg cramps, violent calf spasms that rip you out of sleep, that annoying eye twitch that won't stop, unrelenting exhaustion even after a full night's rest. Your heart starts skipping beats or racing for no reason. Blood pressure rises. Anxiety appears out of nowhere. Your brain feels foggy, unfocused, slow. Constipation becomes routine. Then numbness and tingling spread through your hands and feet. Everyone assumes neuropathy, but often it's magnesium starvation. Even chocolate cravings aren't random. They're your body hunting desperately for magnesium. Here's where magnesium glycinate becomes dangerous, in a good way. Magnesium literally unlocks insulin receptors. It allows insulin to push glucose into cells instead of letting sugar poison your bloodstream. Studies show that 400 milligrams daily lowers HbA1c by 0.4 to 0.7% in just 12 weeks. Fasting glucose drops 30 to 40 milligrams per deciliter. Post-meal spikes fall 25 to 40 points. Insulin sensitivity jumps 32 to 43%. Insulin resistance collapses by up to 35%. Inflammation drops, pancreatic beta cells regain strength, improving insulin output by nearly 40%. Your cardiovascular system transforms, blood pressure drops, heart rhythm stabilizes, arteries soften, plaque formation slows. Heart attack risk falls by nearly 30% in diabetics who correct magnesium deficiency. Nerve pain improves dramatically, burning and tingling reduced by up to 45% within weeks. Kidneys are protected, protein leakage drops,
Bone strength improves. Top magnesium-rich foods include pumpkin seeds, spinach, dark chocolate, almonds, and black beans, but supplements are often necessary. Look for magnesium glycinate or biglycinate only. Effective brands include Doctor's Best, Pure Encapsulations, Thorne, Now Foods, and Cow. Dose is 400 to 600 milligrams daily, split into 2 doses with food. Take it at night. It naturally improves sleep.
Number 2. Chromium picolinate. Chromium picolinate is a trace mineral with outsized power. In this form, chromium is bound to picolinic acid, boosting absorption by up to 300%. Your body only needs tiny amounts, but without it, insulin becomes nearly useless. Modern food processing has stripped up to 90% of chromium from the diet. High sugar intake and stress flush even more out through urine. Every blood sugar spike drains chromium further, creating a downward spiral. Deficiency symptoms are subtle but devastating. Afternoon crashes, uncontrollable sugar cravings, brain fog, mood swings, stubborn belly fat, shakiness between meals. Chromium works by activating insulin receptors, turning them back on. Clinical trials show 200 to 400 micrograms daily reduces HbA1c by 0.5 to 0.8%. Fasting glucose drops 15 to 25 points. Post-meal spikes fall 20 to 35 points. Insulin sensitivity improves up to 48%. Liver glucose production drops 25%. Triglycerides fall. HDL rises. Blood pressure improves. Heart disease risk drops 25%. Chromium also protects nerves, kidneys, and supports fat loss while increasing lean muscle. Food sources exist, but soil depletion makes intake unreliable. Supplement brands to trust include Thorne, Now, Solgar, Pure Encapsulations, and GNC. Dose: 200 to 400 micrograms daily with meals. Monitor glucose closely. It enhances medication effects. Number 3. Zinc picolinate. Zinc picolinate is one of the most underrated minerals in diabetes control, and that oversight is quietly accelerating complications in millions of people. What makes this form unique is absorption. Zinc picolinate binds zinc to picolinic acid, a compound your body naturally produces to help absorb minerals. This bond allows zinc to cross the intestinal barrier efficiently and reach the tissues where it is desperately needed. And no organ needs zinc more than your pancreas. Your pancreas stores unusually high concentrations of zinc for one critical reason. Zinc is required to make, package, store, and release insulin. Without enough zinc, insulin production becomes weak, disorganized, and delayed, even if your pancreas is still technically working. This is why zinc deficiency in diabetics is far more dangerous than most people realize. The warning signs don't appear overnight, they creep in quietly. Small cuts take forever to heal. Bruises linger longer than they should. You start catching every cold that goes around. Hair thins and sheds more than usual. Skin becomes dry, irritated, or prone to breakouts. Food tastes bland. Smells lose their sharpness. Energy levels drop. Focus fades. Brain fog becomes constant. But the most alarming signal appears in your glucose readings. Blood sugar becomes unpredictable. Numbers swing high without explanation. Post-meal spikes become harder to control even when eating the same foods. Zinc picolinate directly attacks this problem at the cellular level. Studies show that restoring zinc status can reduce HbA1c by 0.5 to 1.2% within 3 months. Fasting glucose drops 15 to 25 milligrams per deciliter, while post-meal spikes become significantly lower and shorter in duration. Here's why. Zinc improves how insulin is synthesized inside pancreatic beta cells. It stabilizes insulin molecules so they are released at the right time and in the right amount. It also enhances insulin signaling in muscle and fat cells, increasing insulin sensitivity by 20 to 35%.
That means glucose stops floating uselessly in your bloodstream and finally gets pulled into cells where it can be used for energy instead of causing damage. The benefits extend well beyond blood sugar. Zinc reduces inflammatory damage inside blood vessels by 25%, protecting the heart from long-term diabetic stress. Oxidative damage drops, improving arterial health and circulation. Nerve protection is another major benefit. Diabetic neuropathy develops when excess glucose damages nerve fibers and slows signal transmission. Zinc helps preserve nerve structure and improves nerve signaling speed by up to 30%, reducing numbness, tingling, and burning sensations over time. Even vision is protected. Zinc is heavily concentrated in the retina, where it helps prevent oxidative damage linked to diabetic retinopathy. Adequate zinc intake reduces retinopathy risk by approximately 15%. Food sources of zinc exist, but many diabetics fail to consume enough consistently. The richest sources include oysters, which is exceptionally high, beef and lamb, pumpkin seeds, chickpeas, cashews. However, absorption from food can be impaired by high blood sugar, digestive issues, and certain medications, making supplementation necessary for many people. When choosing a supplement, zinc picolinate is one of the most reliable forms. Well-respected options include Thorne zinc picolinate, Now Foods zinc picolinate, Solgar zinc picolinate, Life Extension zinc caps, and Jarrow zinc balance. Effective dosage: 30 to 50 micrograms daily, taken with meals to avoid stomach discomfort. Important safety note: exceeding 100 milligrams daily can cause nausea, cramps, headaches, and vomiting. Long-term overuse can trigger copper deficiency, leading to anemia, weakened immunity, and fatigue. Zinc also interferes with certain antibiotics and blood pressure medications, so spacing doses by at least 4 hours is essential. Pregnant women should not exceed 40 milligrams daily, and individuals with kidney disease should supplement only under medical supervision. If magnesium improves insulin sensitivity, chromium activates insulin receptors, and selenium protects pancreatic cells, zinc is the mineral that allows insulin to exist in the first place. Without it, blood sugar control becomes chaotic. With it, stability finally becomes possible. And when zinc picolinate is combined with the other 3 minerals, the body gains the tools it needs to regain balance instead of relying solely on medication.
Number 4. Selenomethionine. Selenomethionine is one of the most overlooked minerals in diabetes management, and that silence is costing people their health. This is the most bioavailable form of selenium your body can absorb. Because selenomethionine structurally mimics the amino acid methionine, your body treats it like food, not a supplement. As a result, absorption rates reach up to 90% compared to barely 50% from inorganic selenium forms. And here's the critical reason this matters. Your pancreas and thyroid hoard selenium like a survival resource. They need it to produce glutathione peroxidase, one of the body's most powerful antioxidant enzymes. Without enough selenium, this enzyme cannot protect insulin-producing beta cells from relentless oxidative damage caused by high blood sugar. When selenium levels drop, the warning signs appear quietly, and most people miss them. You wake up exhausted even after a full night's sleep. Weight creeps on despite eating less. Your legs and arms feel weak and heavy. Hair becomes brittle and starts falling out in clumps. White spots appear on your nails, which become thin and ridged. Then the mental symptoms arrive. Brain fog thickens. Focus disappears. Memory slips. Mood swings hit without warning. The most dangerous symptom, however, often goes unnoticed. Your immune system weakens dramatically. Infections linger, wounds heal slowly, and pancreatic cells lose their protection against glucose-driven destruction. This is where selenomethionine changes everything. Clinical studies show that 200 micrograms per day can reduce HbA1c by 0.6 to 1.4% within 12 weeks, a level of improvement many people never achieve even after adding another medication. Fasting blood glucose drops by 18 to 30 milligrams per deciliter. Post-meal spikes that once shot past 230 or 240 begin settling closer to 165 to 180. Here's why this happens. Selenomethionine activates the body's internal antioxidant defense system, shielding pancreatic beta cells from oxidative stress. Insulin production becomes more stable. Insulin efficiency improves by 28 to 42%, meaning every unit of insulin finally works harder instead of being ignored. The benefits extend far beyond blood sugar. Systemic inflammation drops by up to 32%. Oxidized LDL, the form that builds arterial plaque, is dramatically reduced. Blood vessel flexibility improves by 24%, lowering the risk of hypertension and heart attacks. Your nervous system gains powerful protection as well. Selenium-dependent enzymes preserve the myelin sheath around nerves, slowing diabetic neuropathy progression by up to 27% and reducing burning and tingling sensations. Kidney health stabilizes. Filtration rates improve 16 to 21%, helping slow diabetic kidney disease and reduce protein leakage in urine. Your liver becomes more efficient at detoxification, processing up to 35% more metabolic waste, easing insulin resistance and systemic inflammation. Food sources of selenium exist, but they come with risk. Brazil nuts are extremely concentrated. Just one nut can contain more than 100 micrograms of selenium, making accidental overdose easy. Other sources include tuna, sardines, halibut, and grass-fed beef, but selenium content varies widely depending on soil quality. That's why clinical trials rely on selenomethionine specifically for consistent and safe dosing. Trusted supplement brands include Life Extension, Thorne, Pure Encapsulations, Solgar, and Claire Labs. Optimal dosage? 200 to 400 micrograms daily, taken with a meal that includes healthy fats to maximize absorption. Critical safety warning. Exceeding 900 micrograms per day can cause selenosis, a serious toxic condition. Symptoms include persistent garlic-like breath, metallic taste, rapid hair loss, brittle nails, digestive distress, and in severe cases, permanent neurological damage. Selenium can also amplify the effects of blood thinners. Pregnant women should remain below 400 micrograms daily, and anyone with thyroid disorders should supplement only under medical supervision. When magnesium opens the cellular doors, chromium activates insulin receptors, and zinc supports insulin production, selenomethionine is the shield that protects the entire system. It preserves pancreatic cells, it stabilizes insulin function, and it defends your body against long-term diabetic damage. When all four minerals work together, your body finally gets what it has been missing, not another drug, but the raw materials it needs to heal. The moment you restore these four minerals, your body begins correcting itself. Lower HbA1c, fewer spikes, less fatigue, reduced complications. Thousands of diabetics are already seeing results. If this video opened your eyes, like and subscribe because we expose truths you were never told. Comment below which mineral you're starting with first. And share this with every diabetic who deserves freedom from blood sugar chaos. Your health revolution starts now.